Hello, I'm Camelia and this is KiniNews. Daim has responded to remarks on the MACC probe against him. He also hit out at Anwar for his comments on the matter. Former Finance Minister Daim Zainuddin has called on Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim and MACC Chief Azam Baki to respect the rule of law and due process. This was in response to their remarks on an MACC probe against him. In a statement today, Daim denied any corrupt act or wrongdoing by him or his family and said that the investigation is a political witch hunt against them. He added that Anwar's remarks against him on December 22nd that it is an open secret and someone had reaped so much wealth is a reckless, unsubstantiated insinuation that he is guilty of some unspecified offences. He said this shows Anwar's animus against him. He added that it is highly inappropriate and an abuse of power for a Prime Minister to interfere or influence an ongoing investigation by making blatant public insinuations of guilt. He further alleged that the MACC has not communicated to him or his family on why they are being investigated. The MACC had previously confirmed to the media that Daim was being investigated for alleged corruption and money laundering. They had also seized Ilham Tower, a high commercial value building owned by Daim and his family. The seizure is reportedly linked to an anti-money laundering investigation that began in late May into a corporate transaction worth 2.3 billion ringgit in November 1997. The anti-graft agency is also reportedly looking into Daim's businesses and how the corporate figure obtained all his assets. A PKR leader has put his own twist on a sarcastic statement by Mahathir for authorities to investigate those carrying the title Tun. Shamsul said they should start with Mahathir himself. Former PKR Vice President Shamsul Iskandar Md Akin said if the MACC is going to start probing those carrying the title Tun, they should start with former Premier Dr Mahathir Mohamad himself. This is in response to a sarcastic statement by Mahathir yesterday after the MACC launched investigations into Daim Zainuddin over alleged money laundering and corruption. In a post on X, the senior political secretary to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim said Mahathir's statement to remand all those who hold the title of Tun if they refuse to reveal their wealth shows the former leader's arrogant attitude. He said that everyone, including those who hold the rank of Tun, are not above the law. Shamsul added that if Mahathir's words are honest, if he wants all Tuns to be investigated, they can start the investigation on him and his children first. With this, he called on the MACC to probe the source of the wealth of Mahathir's children and also to re-investigate several cases of misappropriation of funds and losses. Last week, the MACC seized Ilham Tower, a high commercial value building owned by Daim and his family. This reportedly came after the former finance minister refused to comply with requests from the MACC to disclose the financial holdings of both himself and his family. The anti-graft agency is also reportedly looking into Daim's businesses and how the corporate figure obtained all his assets. Tony Phua has claimed that a former advisor to Mahathir was against Harapan's previous toll rationalization plan as they believed that it was being done to benefit the non-Malays. Former Damansara MP Tony Phua has claimed that a former advisor to Dr Mahathir Mohamad had objected to the first Pakatan Harapan government's toll rationalization plans along racial lines. He alleged the advisor believed DAP was trying to benefit from the non-Malays with the plan. Speaking on a podcast hosted by Ong Kian Ming, Phua said there was a former advisor to Mahathir who said that this was DAP's way to profit Chinese companies. He said the advisor claimed it was also DAP's way to benefit non-Malay toll users in the Klang Valley. However, Phua did not name the advisor. He said this while talking about pushback and bailout narratives against the toll rationalization plan. In 2019, the Harapan cabinet moved to take over the takes from Gamuda Berhad and its associated companies in 4 highways. This includes the Shah Alam Expressway, Smart Tunnel, Sprint Highway, and the Damansara Puchong Expressway. The move would have seen toll fees replaced with congestion charges, in which highway users during non-peak hours could travel either for free or at a discount. The government at the time estimated that users of the 4 highways would save an accumulative 180 million ringgit per year. While Harapan was unable to see the plan through, the Ismail Sabri Yaakob administration secured a similar deal last year with Muda to ensure there would be no more toll hikes on the 4 highways. Restoring local council polls is not the priority for the government right now. This is according to the Housing and Local Government Development Minister. Restoring local government elections is not the priority for the government now, as the focus is on projects that benefit the rakyat. This is according to Housing and Local Government Development Minister Nga Korming. Speaking in a press conference today, Nga said this is not the right time to reintroduce the local council election, as the ministry is focusing on other areas of the country's development. He said this when asked to comment on the proposal by the Federal Territories, DAP, to reinstate local government elections in the nation's capital following the recent cabinet reshuffle. Nga said his answer had always been consistent on the matter, and the ministry's priority now is to focus on the 7 areas that he announced on the first day he was given the trust and responsibility as a minister. He added that the country is recovering from political turmoil, and now is the time to calm the political temperature as well as focus on works that can bring benefits to the people. He said the public should give him 10 years, and after he completes 50,000 public infrastructure projects, maybe that's the right time. Earlier this month, Federal Territories DAP Chairperson Tan Kok Wai called on Putrajaya to restore local council elections that were permanently suspended since 1976. This had sparked outcries from UMNO and the opposition. A 10-year-old girl has written to the Prime Minister for help to go to school next year. This came after she was denied entry to school due to citizenship documentation issues. 10-year-old Shivani has written a letter to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim to help her go to school. This came after she was denied entry to school by the Education Ministry in March this year. Shivani was a student at Sekolah Kebangsaan Taman Sri Pagi in Senawang from Year 1 to Year 3. However, the school informed the family in March this year that Shivani could not continue to Year 4 due to citizenship documentation issues. In a letter to the Prime Minister cited by Malaysia Kini, Shivani wrote that she couldn't go to school this year as the teacher said she didn't have a MACC. She added that she was asking the Prime Minister to help her to go to school next year and thanked him as well. When contacted, Shivani said she wrote the letter upon her uncle's suggestion as she wanted to go to school, wants to study and also misses her friends. Meanwhile, according to P. Rajeswaran, who introduced himself as Shivani's father, his daughter has always had a citizenship documentation problem. He said after he got married, he did not register at the National Registration Department, and after his child was born in 2013, his wife separated from him. He said initially the school allowed her to study until Year 3 with a payment of 120 ringgit every year. However, for this year, the school said they could not accept her because of the new Education Ministry policy. Malaysia Kini is trying to contact Education Minister Fatina Sidek for comment. Muda also commented on the issue, saying that it was deeply troubling that a young girl had to resort to writing to the Prime Minister just to be allowed to attend school. Muda has called upon the Education Ministry to review its policies and ensure that they are in alignment with the principles enshrined in the Federal Constitution. This was in response to Shivani, a 10-year-old girl writing to Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim just to be allowed to attend school. In a statement today, Muda said that despite constitutional guarantees, children are still being denied access to education due to citizenship documentation issues. They pointed out that the Federal Constitution unequivocally emphasizes that every child has the right to education. Furthermore, it also provides a timeline for citizenship application for children, extending until the age of 21, they said. Muda added that no child, irrespective of their documentation status, should be deprived of this fundamental right. Muda said it is deeply troubling that Shivani, who has the aspiration and right to education, is being denied this opportunity due to bureaucratic hurdles. With this, they demanded an immediate resolution for Shivani and other children facing similar challenges. Earlier today, Malaysia Kini highlighted Shivani's letter to the Prime Minister after she was denied entry to school by the Education Ministry in March this year. Shivani was a student at Sekolah Kebangsaan Taman Sri Pagi in Senawang, studying from Year 1 to Year 3. However, the school informed the family in March this year that Shivani could not continue to Year 4 due to citizenship documentation issues. And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to Kinitv.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you would like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Camelia. Thanks for watching.